You can see anything that you want to see through this worldly lens we call make things. Make things? Take your seat now and see interdimensionally as we yap all about make things. Well, it is starting right about now. Learning new skills it's hard. But, dear listeners, I'm doing it for you. That was my first attempt at a song, if you can call it that. I can't take full credit, and I know the singing isn't phenomenal. I sourced the audio from a vintage documentary that was all about how sound travels across wires and waves and such. Anyway, before I pick up my script and start cosplaying as someone who knows what they're doing, I just wanted to mention, acknowledge, share that I'm so excited for the people that have already staked themselves out as fans. And I'm especially excited to be making things with you. That's right, thingmakers have entered the fray. Collaborations are happening, and shortly we will see the fruits of our collective creative consciousness on the podcast itself. But, okay, yeah, I see there it goes again. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So I'm just going to pick up my script, and here we go. Welcome to the Make Things Now podcast. Today, I have a very special guest and a personal friend who I go way back with, Katy, glass. Now, Katy is a glass blower who began her career as a lampworker in 2015. As a fan of both fantasy and sci-fi, she weaves her inspiration into her craft like glass that she wields. She has staked a name for herself with functional glassware. Her work is a sight to behold and will surely send you into a heightened state of appreciation. Now, the one and only Katy.
Hello. Happy to be here.
How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
My tummy has the rumbles, and I have to admit, I'm excited for a special delivery later on tonight.
Anchovy and pineapple, controversial yet delicious.
It's controversial, but so am I. So I'm here for it, and we stand in anchovy.
Yeah, we're standing on that. Absolutely. If you don't like anchovies, then I just don't know what to tell you. Yeah. It's salty and delicious and oily. What do you want?
Just like the sea.
Exactly.
Well, we can chat all about the pizza that we're gonna eat, and that's only gonna make me more hungry. I'm just gonna ask you straight up, what kind of things do you make?
Well, you said it before. I make a functional glass. So that's, things that are meant to be used. Mostly pipes, but also jewelry, stuff to wear, stuff to keep things in, maybe like jars and such,
Have you ever considered making like plumbing? Like really fancy plumbing that could like carry water into different areas of your house?
I mean, that would surely be a statement, fully wig-wagged pipes to carry your shit from one place to another.
That would be crazy.
That's fully work. But unfortunately, my equipment limits me. But we can always dream. A pipe dream, if you will.
So, when you're not pipe dreaming about creating a wig-wagged toilet seat, I'm curious.
Perfect.
What set of experiences got you to the point where you thought that was an awesome thing to do? Why do you make those things?
Man, I don't know. I guess it's funny because I do, I collect stuff, so I do enjoy shit that just sits around. I've got quite the collection of action figures and knickknacks myself, but if I was gonna make something, I wanted it to be something that people had to interact with every day, pick up every day, maybe see something different in it, an item that the person that owns builds their own relationship with. Not that you wouldn't build a
Whoa.
relationship with something that sits there like a marble, or the marbles are great, but I wanted them to use it for it to be useful. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. As someone who does have a loving and ongoing relationship with a marble, I'm happy that there's a thriving market for functional glass.
Market for marbles too. I mean, that's why I brought that up, because I was like, hey, marbles are dope. Lots of people love marbles. So
Yeah. People have all kind of relationship structures with marbles, if it be to look at them or to use them for marble games
yeah,
or to start a little marble family. I'm not here to
pondering
judge.
the orb, one of
Thank
man's
you.
biggest pastimes.
And the orb industry is thriving these days.
Absolutely.
Have you ever made an orb or something
Um,
specifically for pondering?
I actually don't. Every time I make a marble, it subsequently gets put on a pipe. So, I do make marbles, but they never
Oh, okay.
in, they never stay fully in their orbital shape for long.
It's spherical.
Spherical shape until, because then I put it on a pipe,
Mm.
so it ends up kind of having like one flat side. But if someone wanted me to make such a thing, I would.
Walk me through the process, if you would, of making a ponderable orb.
Well, there's so many different types of marbles that you could make, like there's a lot of ways. The first marble in my first glass blowing class was a mushroom marble, where you put a tiny mushroom inside of a marble, and that pretty much just involves having clear rods and color rods. And
Yeah.
then you'll take your rod of color and pull the end of it to a narrow point. We call it pulling a stringer.
Yeah. A stringer.
A stringer, yeah. And then you're gonna
Interference
get your
detected.
clear rod and beat up.
Initializing
When you
connection
put
smoothing.
the glass in the
I
flame,
wait,
because of
let me
its
sorry, I have to
coefficient of expansion.
I think we might be getting a slight amount of intergalactic interference
Oh yeah, I hear
from
that.
uh, can you confirm for me on your end that there's no fire or smoke?
Um,
Don't ask me why I'm asking that. That's just standard protocol. Anytime that this uh happens, there's just like a certain, like stop, drop, and roll, like they taught you that in school.
yeah, I think
I hope.
Connection smoothing
Okay,
complete.
we're clear.
good.
All right, all right.
When you get glass hot, like a rod, a solid piece of glass, just because of how the glass is, it's called a coefficient of expansion, or COE.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, big words, big words. The COE basically makes glass borosilicate glass, which is the type of glass that lamp workers use. Has typically a COE of 33. And that kind of basically, in fancy talk, one of the properties that gives glass is that it naturally wants to beat up when you put it in the flame, become spherical,
Mm.
orbital when you just simply rotate it in the flame. So you get your clear rod, rotate it evenly in the flame, and it will naturally make a larger bead on the end of the rod, which will become your marble. And then you take your
Wow.
stringer while you heat your clear rod, both, so the color is cold, the clear is hot, and then you
Yes.
stab your color into that clear marble while spinning them both.
This is
And when you do
terrifying.
that, your stringer of color will travel through the middle of your clear orb and hit the other end where the rod begins. And that's going to cause the color to bloom out, almost like when you see a slow motion video of a bullet hitting a wall or something, and it kind of blooms. And then as
Whoa.
you pull your rod out of the marble, that's going to create the stem of your mushroom. At that point, you can just re-round your marble back out, take it off, and then you've made a mushroom marble.
I really feel like we should have had a entry level class before attending the lecture of such a masterful mushroom creation seminar.
If any glass blowers are watching, they know what I'm talking about.
I haven't so much as picked up a glass rod in my life, and if I did, it shortly thereafter broke.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, what's the sitch on the
I
za?
I'm just sitting here still. Yeah. The
Okay.
pizza tracker says Merlin is prepping our pizza now.
All right, Merlin. I trust your
Yeah.
abilities.
Hopefully about an anchovy.
We're probably about 3 anchovies deep in this pizza right now. Let me ask, because sometimes appearances are deceiving. You were projecting your form into my space through the magic of the Holomid today. Why did you choose this particular avatar to represent yourself? And it's a loaded question. I know.
I chose it because that's what I look like, and you did that, and it
I
came out really cute.
I did this.
Yeah,
What?
you did that.
Wow, it's a throwback. It's a throwback piece. I want to know from the person who commissioned it.
Yeah, no, I just it was perfect. It looks just like me. It's got my little hat and my plugs in my ears, and I've got a little dancing bear buddy sitting on me, and he's got his own Katy glass chillum. And yeah, I think it's very accurate.
So this is how you would appear in the cartoon dimension.
Exactly. Yeah. I've got a little smirk,
Wait,
you know?
what's happening to your hat?
My hat?
What's happening to your hat? Your Riz levels are
Oh my
increasing.
god, it's time to duel.
Whoa, what happened?
Yeah, dude, it's time to get our games on.
Oh shit. So what
And
happened here?
it's Yu-Gi-Oh.
What is a Yugi?
Time to get the Dark Magician out and the Blue Eyes. Got the duel discs. Are we dueling?
This is kind of like a duel. So I actually have to admit, I did some research into the Holomid. They contracted the same projection technology that the dual disc used from Kaiba Corp.
Oh, that's crazy. I've heard Kaiba is kind of an asshole. I never trust billionaires, so.
Yeah, about that. I just listen, folks, I don't condone any ads that happen to appear on this show. I just pay cartoon rent. And I'm sorry if you were scouted by a technology company that was trying to reincarnate billionaires. That was not on me. Take that up with the algorithm.
We do not condone billionaires.
We don't. I'm ethically opposed to them, in fact.
Fair.
Hey, okay, so we've established that you are rizzing out with this crazy hat. We've established that there's a fun little bear on your head. So this is how you appear in the world.
Oh, the mushroom marble on his pipe too. So we did have a visual representation after all.
Really close on that. Enhance. Zoom. Okay, now you can see the magical mystery marble.
And that is just what they look like.
That's crazy. That you can make that out of glass, which is actually, it's a liquid, right?
It becomes a liquid and solid, and then a liquid again if you want.
Okay.
And then a solid again.
I don't know if I heard this on Mythbusters. Like, glass is always a liquid, even when it's not. Like, it's just like a liquid that doesn't flow. Like, even when it's just a pane of glass. Is that crazy?
I cannot confirm or deny that, but I hope that's true, because that sounds really cool. That would be dope. It's definitely a magical substance, though.
You would know a lot about that, being both magical and cool. How do you want to be perceived or seen in the world as someone who's rizzing out with the Yu-Gi-Oh hat and having a bear on her head?
I know how I perceive myself, being myself and living inside of myself, but I don't know how others perceive me and can't ever really know. If I worry too much about that, then I might start to change myself to fit the expectations I've made for myself for others to see me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely, it's impossible to never care about what people think of you. You kind of have to have that in order to exist in the world, but I do try to make it something that I don't worry about too much, and that's why I wear Yu-Gi-Oh hats. And
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think these kind of conversations and these topics, they're thought a lot by, I think, maybe more of a, certainly in like the gender non-conforming space, because we have so many like expectations on what a person should or shouldn't be doing or should be wearing or not. And it's like all rooted in these ideas about the way that we look can end up influencing even our own identity, if that makes any
yeah,
sense.
because if you're thinking about does this person or that person perceive me, or how do I want to be perceived, yeah, you could end up kind of inadvertently even changing the way that you are interacting with people to fit hope they think of you.
Yeah.
Either they like me or they don't, because the people that do fuck with it are gonna be sticking around, and that's gonna be the people that I spend my time with.
I mean, okay, so if I could get slightly real, one of the first times that we chatted and you told me that you were a glass worker, my immediate response was, that is awesome. And I've never met someone in my entire life who does that. What would you say is like the average response of a person? Are they just like, I don't even know what that is?
I think that the biggest thing is that when I tell people I'm a glass blower, what they immediately picture is that Netflix show Blown Away, where people are doing what's
Yes.
called soft glass, where they have like that really long metal blow tube, like what you'd see in Italy, where they've got the big glory hole the blow tube into, and they're making vases and plates and like bigger stuff. And then I have to be like, no, not that type of glass blowing. Like what I'm doing is technically it's lamp working, so it's mounted torch on table, and we're working with borosilicate glass, not soft glass, and you're making like smaller format stuff. Like for me to make a 12-ounce cup would be pushing the absolute limitations of my torch.
And that's like what, like a standard coffee cup ish? Like 12 ounces?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like you could fit like a can of soda in it, basically. So like maybe something around the size of a can of soda then. And that would be like, that'd be a fucking lot of glass. With a lathe, you can really get bigger, and that's how they make like big long bongs and stuff. But even with that, it's like you're limited
Yeah.
to how wide the flame on your torch can go. And like I have a pretty decent torch, but I'd say that's the biggest thing. And then like reactions wise, some people that are like, "Oh hell yeah, brother,"
Yeah.
and then there's other people like, "Oh, so when are you gonna make real art?"
Oh
Oh,
no.
absolutely. Oh, 100%.
Those misguided fools. They've never even made real art in their whole life.
Probably not. Definitely an attitude that I've been given many many times, or just kind of sneering, or like kind of making fun of me, backhanded.
Being a ditzy Dumbo and like trying to stake some kind of like superiority over you when you're the one doing cool stuff, that doesn't make
Yeah,
any
I
sense to
mean,
me.
that's not something that I see around like my own group of peers. But when you get around, all sorts of different people, there's all sorts of attitudes, because like whether we like it or not, like smoking is still very taboo.
Wild to me.
The most famous documentary made about glass blowing is called Degenerate Art.
Well, they're a bunch of fools, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, but
Bunch of
there's something
fools.
about that too. There's something cool about making something that you're not supposed to be making, and living in that gray area.
It's kind of exciting, I imagine.
Yeah,
I mean, when it's fun, and then it sucks when it's
it doesn't
not.
get to me, when people say things like that. I'm like, whatever, bro, have fun at your office job. But yeah, I turn around and I moonwalk out of there.
And then you tilt the brim of your Yu-Gi-Oh cap and you said, "Smell you later,
Yup.
Yugi Moto."
Third-rate, dual-rate deck.
Wait, did I just hear something knock at
Oh
your
damn!
door?
I'm so caught
I
up in the moment. You got me talking
think-
glass. I almost missed the man. Hang on one second.
Hey there, once again, Make Things listeners. So I've been informed since the episode debut of my podcast that my sponsor, whom I did not vet very well, is extremely problematic for many reasons that have come to light since the episode came out. That said, I signed a contract with them, and there was a termination fee. So, unfortunately, I do have to play this, but only for this episode. And let this be known, I am desperately seeking new sponsorship. If you're a thing maker who happens to make things that can help me pay cartoon rent, I would desperately appreciate your collaboration and cooperation as I distance myself from this horrible mistake. Okay, goodbye. Sorry.
Do you have a knack for vividly imagining flesh around bones? Well, listen up, because we have an opportunity for you. Camaprex, the dinosaur-inspired venture capital group, is hiring Flesh Imagineers. Flesh Imagineering is a lost art in a growing market. Your skills could help this market achieve their goal of creating a standing army of Tyrannosaurus Rex flesh forms into which shareholders' souls can be reincarnated. Why would anyone want recently deceased CEOs and oligarchs' minds placed into the bodies of a Tyrannosaurus Rex? The question isn't why, but how. And the answer is...
Do not tell them. Don't tell them. You can't. They cannot know. Just make something up.
We don't know yet. That's why we're hiring.
Good.
If you have the skill to see meat around bones, we want you to help draft the plan for how this cutting-edge technology will ensure our collective oppression, not just across generations, but entire evolutionary epochs of life on Earth. Camaprex, creating the problems today you'll doomscroll about tomorrow.
All right, the za has been delivered, and I gotta say, it smells fishy and delicious.
Okay, I can't smell it, but wait.
What are we gonna do about this?
Okay, so like when I Venmo'd you that $15, I wasn't like thinking that you technically live in a different dimension than I do. Wait a minute. Okay, so there was an instruction manual of this thing. I'm gonna. Sorry.
Yeah, yep.
Okay. So this thing, here it is. The Holomit 3 comes with a state-of-the-art teleportation pad, the instant transportation, small objects, blah, 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 less than 2 square feet. Clap twice and say activate aloud, and the holopad will appear. Semi-transparent cube occupying 2 square feet, blah, 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 surface. Ensure no other objects, desired limbs, or pets intersect with the space outlined by the cube. Blah, blah, blah. Object will be transported, and if it doesn't, quickly create as much distance between yourself and the transportal pad as possible. Okay, so just clap twice, and then you say activate.
Oh, okay.
Try doing that if you can.
Activate. That working for you?
Not on my end. Is there a semi-transparent cube on your end? Are you seeing that?
I don't know, bro. I still got a whole ass pizza here.
Can you try it like one more time, but like throw some pizzazz on the active? Like maybe it didn't like your accent.
Bet. Activate.
Oh shit.
Is that better?
I moved to tears, but like I don't see any transparent cube.
Fuck.
You know what? Like, can you just like yeet it through the portal? Like, just grab half of that pizza and just like, you can see the table in front of you.
You want me to
right?
like roll it up first, or like?
I'm trying to think in terms of like aerodynamics. I think that might help. Can you try doing that? And then I'll just try to catch it with my foot.
Like calzone it type shit. Like what?
Do that.
I just don't want to lose toppings, you know.
I don't know what it looks like on your end.
I bet. 1 second. That worked? That fuck it up?
No, you did a great job. I just think gravity failed me.
Are the anchovies intact?
Ooh. It's chill. It's like 5-second rule.
Ground score.
And it smells amazing. Well, I'm gonna be munching on this. In the meantime, can you let me know, is there anything else that you make or do?
I mean,
It's got dust all over
I'll
it.
draw a picture occasionally,
fine.
but
Whatever.
not too much, you know. I spend a lot of time blowing glass, so I feel fulfilled creatively. So when I come home, that's not usually like on my mind as much, which like might sound bad. You know, some people might be like, "Oh, glass blowing's tapping all your creativity, and now you're not playing guitar anymore." But I spend, you know, 35 hours a week being creative in the shop. So when I'm not blowing glass, I just, you know, I've always got a book and a game that I'm playing. I got a dog, so I spend a lot of time with my dog, and I got 3 cats, so take care of them, spend time with my husband. I got a part-time job too, also at a pipe shop at a glass gallery, so I spend more time around glass, you know.
Wow. No way.
So
You have kind of dedicated your entire life to this craft in a sense.
yeah, I love it. I've always thought that specifically glass pipes were just really cool. When I was 18, I got my first smoke shop job and got to get up close and personal with like some headies, you know, that they had bought. Got to pick them up and hold them and like really look at them in real life and not just like through a computer screen. And that was really cool.
Could you let our listeners know what a heady is?
Yeah, it's just a really sick piece of glass, basically. I don't know where the term heady comes from. I'm sure someone does, and I'm sure it would probably come from Deadhead because
Oh yeah.
yeah, a lot of the early glass pipe scene was kind of cultivated at the parking lot scenes of Grateful Dead shows in the 90s. But I could totally be wrong. That's just my guess. But heady.
Is there
Yeah.
is there any correlation between the term heady and the fact that the bear has found residence on your head?
Yeah, I would say that makes sense.
It could be anything: video games, movies, shows, music, whatever gets your creative spark really rolling in. If you had to give us 5 favorite works of media, what are those things?
Okay. You know, these are always subject to change, you know, but I'll give you 5 that I can think of off the fly here. One of them is definitely Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Totally.
I would probably give that game credit for me being an artist at all, because it's the first video game I ever played. I was playing Ocarina of Time before I could even read.
Wow.
It came out when I was 4, and I would try to draw pictures out of the player's guide. You know, pictures of Link and pictures of. And that's some of my earliest memories of creating art. Sitting in my parents' garage in the summertime, they had a little table out there, and I would just listen to Britney Spears on the CD player and draw stuff out of the player's guide to Ocarina of Time.
Wow.
So I'll do like a favorite band is definitely Tycho.
Love Tycho. Skate.
Really chill.
Skate by Tycho. Oh, that was foundational.
Yep. The Tycho, the background to creative work, perfect. My favorite movie is Alien. For sure. I love
the
Alien.
Original, like OG.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, 1979 Alien. When I was like a little kid, I just wanted to be Ripley. When I grew up, I just thought she was so cool. And
hell yeah.
And we both have like curly hair, so I was like, oh, she kind of looks like me. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Sigourney
Weaver. A little bit of that butch representation. We love to see it.
It's so badass. I just read a really good book that I'll throw in there. I just finished reading The Stand by Stephen King, which was fucking amazing. It's about like, you know, it's kind of a classic tale of good versus evil, the world ending due to like a super flu, you know, kind of topical for what society recently went through, and just kind of, it's a really long book. It was almost 1,500 pages, and I've never read a book that long, so it was kind of cool to seeing the characters transform as the world that they've known forever goes away and is never coming back. It was a really great journey. And then honestly, I'm gonna throw, I guess, a TV show, Star Wars Clone Wars, dude.
Clone Wars, yes.
If you haven't seen Star Wars Clone Wars, unequivocally fucking busting, excellent lore.
That was the same director as Samurai Jack, right? Gendy Tartakovsky.
Well, I'm talking about the newer, the 2003 Gendy Tartakovsky Clone Wars is also goated.
Okay.
But I'm talking about the newer one that was also on Cartoon Network. It adds so much depth to specifically the prequel series, and yeah, I just didn't know shit about Star Wars till I watched Clone Wars. So if anyone's a Star Wars fan out there, it's a great show.
Are you a Jedi or a Sith?
Oh, a Jedi. Fuck the Sith, dude. That's messed up.
Love to hear
no
it.
way. No.
So I'm not super deep into the Star Wars universe. Is it just those two factions, or is there like kind of like a non-binary option?
There's not canonically a non-binary faction, but there is headcanon and speculation of what's called a gray Jedi.
Whoa.
Definitely not like an evil person, but also not someone who's necessarily going to lick the boots of the council, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which I fuck with. But douchey Star Wars fans will be like, that's not canon. But
yeah,
whatever.
We'll take fun over canon anyway, any day.
Yeah, like we're just here to have fun. But yeah, those are some media that fill me with happiness when I'm looking to get that serotonin boost or hop into some nostalgia.
Absolutely. It paints such an amazing image of the artist that is katywrightglass. Before we go, do you have any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
I would just say, don't get too lost in the grind, because the only thing that we know we have for sure is this time here together.
The everlasting here and now is coming to a thrilling conclusion to this episode of Make Things Now, the podcast about things and the people who make those things and their identities. Want to thank you so much to my dear friend Katy for your time.
Thanks for having me.
And if you wouldn't mind, can you please say the magical words?
What is it?
You know those magical words. The magical word that wizards use.
Is it abracadabra? Did I get it?
Abracadabra, also known as make things. Thank you so much for your time, my dear friend. Listeners, I hope you enjoyed our guest today. My name is Kay. I am gay. I hope you have a lovely day. You can catch all of the recommended media from our guest today in the show notes below. Goodbye.